we are. We're going to Quarantine Bay. Quarantine Bay. Now this place has got a history. I think it was William Bass who was sailing a ship up here and they got ill and they all had to pull in here. Look, I'll check that out on Google when I get back. But now if you go up to the left there, that takes you down to what's called Wirraka Beach, or we call it Range Rover Beach, because I've got a Range Rover and that's where we go. But now we're going down to Quarantine Bay boat launching ramp. It's beautiful down here, especially in the morning. I'm a morning person, definitely. Definitely a morning person. Not a person in morning, but a morning person. So anyway, there's a little beach here, which I'm going to take you to see. I haven't shown you this place so far. Look, there's the two barges. There's the barges. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. I'm just going to check my camera settings. Okay. I think I'm right. So we'll have a walk up here. Guy's still in bed, so I'm cruising around. Summer's coming. It's already pretty warm, so I love the mornings. There's no one about, especially sort of out of season and midweek. It's Friday morning. Keep clear of Naval Wharf whilst naval vessels alongside. See over there's a naval wharf. For naval gazing. Look at this lovely rock. Beautiful. It looks like igneous rock. But it could be sedimentary for all I know. I don't know much about it. I just know I like it. Rock and roll. Well, that looks like regolith. I believe that's regolith. Now there's Boytown Beach over there. That's the place where I walked. The state of things. That's where I made it over there, Boytown Beach. You can just about see the seahorse. And we walked around to about there. And round the corner there, that's Whale Spit where I wanted to go. One morning I'll drive down there, not today though. So we can see the barges there, so obviously Snug Cove was in there, and you can see the Marine Rescue on the top of the head there. So we're just round the corner. So there's a little beach here, no one goes to this beach. And in the morning it's beautiful. So we'll just have a quick look, see if there's any rays. Probably all the rays are asleep because there's no fishermen. I've shown you the rays before. If you look at my Quarantine Bay video, you can see the rays. Now Dusty, you'd love it here. You'd have your boat down here. Well, it's only like 5 minutes from home. That place over there, I stayed there. That was the first place we stayed in Eden. It used to be called Shadrack's Caravan Park, and now it's called I don't know what it's called now. Oh, hang on, it'll come to me. Anyway, there's cabins right on the beach. You can see them. and they are magnificent, and I really loved it there. That's when I fell in love with Eden. It's before we'd even been into Eden. We stopped and we got a place there. When me and Diane did an East Coast tour, you know, we just drove around. We just had a bit of money and we just drove and stayed where we fancied. But this is Quarantine Bay, and it's a really lovely place. You can see it's plenty of room. It's not busy at the moment. Probably in the summer it'll get busier. But it's such a lovely place. So we'll go down and have a look on that beach. Diane and Saab. Diane and Rory went up to the Murray in that. On the way back they hit a kangaroo. A dead kangaroo. It was on the road. I don't know how they managed that. Rory was driving. They were doing 100 kilometres an hour. And there was a dead kangaroo on the road. And they hit it and went over the top of it. But there's not a mark on the car. Amazingly enough. Well, that was there already. Look, it's filthy. I said I'd wash it, and I haven't yet. Anyway, this is like a little sort of secret beach. Well, it's not really secret, but very few people go here. There's a rock down here, and it's gorgeous. I'll show it to you. Where is it? See these? Beautiful. That's not it. That's not it. It's one of these. Right here. This is quite amazing. Now this must be sedimentary. Okay? Must be sedimentary. This is it. Look at that. Now, fair dues, have you ever seen such a beautiful rock in your life? I'd like that in my garden. It's beautiful. Yes. Imagine looking at rocks. Well, why not? Here's another nice one. I know you appreciate rocks, Dusty. You like the rocks. Well, I like them too. See, look at that one. And that one. Well, that's quite a beauty, isn't it? And that one. Oh, there's no end to it. See that big rock there? I hope I'm not moving the camera around too much. I mean, that's the way it is. So it's got to be. We're on tour. Lovely. See, look at this regolith type crushed rock, you know, rocks all squeezed together in some sort of a, I mean, it's solid, obviously, but what created that? Compressed rocks. You can see some of them are pebbles that have been compressed in together in a mishmash. I don't know. Curious though, isn't it? I'd like to know. Let's have a look on the Google. That's a beauty, that one. Imagine that in your garden. It's covered with abalones. Lots of abalones around here. It's an abalone place. If you're a diver, you can get lots of abalones. But I'm vegetarian, so I don't eat abalones. I don't eat anything with a face or anything with a mother. But I love carrots. Like Bugs Bunny. Look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? There's an abalone shell. Bit battered. Could do with a bit of seaweed for the garden. Useful tire for growing potatoes in. What do you think of this? I'm all alone. All close to myself. It's great. Tiny little cave. You could sleep in there. You could easily sleep in there. If you were stuck, you know. Mind you, the tide would come in and you get wet. But who cares? Boom, boom, boom. I don't know what this beach is called. You know, what do you call it? Do you call it by its modern name? Probably, that's the best, the modern name. The name that's on the modern maps is probably the best name to call it. But there's a local name for most of these beaches. Like, around the corner is called Keith's Pinch for some reason. That's the beach next to this, around there. Look at the water. It's bloody beautiful. So, what do you call it by its Aboriginal name, you know? And what was it called before that? And different Aboriginals from different areas would call it different things, because I'll tell you for why. Because there's this Aboriginal well, artifact, should I say. It's an old path. It's called the Bundian Way. That's what they call it now. I don't know what it used to be called, but the Bundian Way they call it now, and it goes from Mount Kosciuszko, which is up north, to Fisheries Beach, which is over there. Now, that was one of their sacred, as far as I know, I don't really know what I'm talking about, but it was one of their traditional paths. It might have been a nomadic path. They'd go up to the high country to eat the bogong moths. Bogong moths. And then they'd come down here and eat the fish, I suppose, and the whales. But look at that there. Looks like the Pink Floyd album, doesn't it? You know what I mean? So it's quite a trot. I think it's about 400 kilometres. But they used to be fitter in those days. And there, you know, there was a path from Kosciuszko down to Fisheries Beach. So it comes through here. It comes through here for sure. So this would have been a track that the ancients walked maybe 50,000 years ago, because the Australian indigenous people have been here for at least 50,000 years, and maybe a lot longer. Stinky sand. Maybe a lot longer. The date keeps going back, just like the age of the earth. Keeps going back and back. Anyway, at the moment they're saying 50,000. A cave. Well, you could sleep in there too, if you're stuck. I have walked around here, but I don't think I'm going to do it today. You can see it just goes round there. I've walked right round the corner over the rocks. I'm not going to do it now though. CBF. Anyway, lovely little beach. I think it's called Bungo Beach. Might be called Bungo Beach, because I know it's Bungo Point. And there's a Bungo Street in Eden. I'm not sure. So guess what's happening today? I'm getting a new spark. Right, I'll tell you what's happened. I've said it before, but I had to wipe it out because I said too much and someone objected. Anyway, I'll start again. What happened? You know, I crashed a Spark. I love the Spark. You've seen my videos. I just loved that Spark. It was just, it was the bee's knees to me. It was tiny and it could do anything. So, I took it out to take some photographs and movies of a place in Wonboyne. We'll leave it at that. And I hit a tree. Went in the river. Got a bit wet. Still worked. Oh, it still lit up and started up at first. And as you see in my video called The Wonboyne Disaster, bleached, it died. It died then. So, I was very disappointed because I didn't take out the Care Refresh, and because I bought it from America, I bought it from Carolina Drones, where it was cheap, much cheaper than you can buy it in Australia, and it came with the FCC settings, not the CE settings. That means it had greater range than the European. I think in Australia they use the CE designation, and so you get it with a lower power transmitter. So anyway, I've crashed the Spark with no protection into the river. So I sent it off to DJI so they could repair it, hopefully. I was hoping, because it wasn't soaked. Anyway, they got back to me. First of all, I looked them up on the internet for the service centre for Australia, which was down in Melbourne, in Croydon. So I sent them an email and told them I was sending it to them. And before I'd gone to the post office, they sent me an email back to say, don't bother sending it because if it's water damaged, we can't repair it. And it'll cost you more to repair than replace. So you can imagine I was a little peeved. So emailed DJI. Now, I've said this story before, but I'll run through it again. I emailed DJI and I said, they said they can't fix it. And DJI said, well, send it down to Burwood, to another place they've got there, and they'll have a look at it. So it went to Burwood and they took it apart. Thought it was water damaged, and the tide's coming a bit now. And I've got a photograph of it. I'll put it on this video where they've taken it apart. Can't really see it, but let's have a sit down. For Christ's sake. Oh, lovely. So this rock's got a bum shape in it. Really nice. Hang on, let me get my breath. Look at that beautiful sky. So, cut a long story short, they said it was beyond repair. So I wrote to DJI and I said, you know, I make videos of DJI products and I've been promoting your products, and you know, I'm a poor old pensioner, and this is all my money and blah 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 blah. I try to appeal to their better natures, and guess what? It worked. I got onto this guy called Jesse James, believe it or not, and another girl called April. These are the names of the people at DJI, and another guy called James who I spoke to on live chat. Now by this stage I had about 4 people talking to me about this Spark, because I was quite adamant I wanted another one and I wanted a bit of help. So anyway, in the end, Jesse James, so I sent them some videos, you know, and he said, oh, that's awesome, so we'll give you 50% off. Well, that's, how good is that, you know? I had no cover, I had no warranty, I bought it from America, I didn't take out the Carer Fresh, didn't spend $100 to get the Carer Fresh. So they let me have 50% off just because I make videos promoting their products, and I'm a loyal customer as well. But, so I paid the money, and apparently today it's going to be delivered. So that's great, I'm really looking forward to that. Can you see the wood stack over there with the steam coming off it? Because it composts. They have to constantly keep turning it over, it will spontaneously combust. And that down there a bit further, that's Boyd's Tower. Now I want to go and film that. Me and John Yench, we're going to go and film that. John has got my old Autel X-Star Premium. So today we're going to get a new Spark, and I'm delighted, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to get Carer Fresh, that's for sure. So I might not be able to fly it straight away. There goes the cat balloon. I don't know whether we've got $100 spare. But I'm definitely getting it. I also heard about a home and contents insurance from Alliance, where you can take a supplementary insurance for your drone, because if I lose that drone in the sea, if it's not recoverable, I don't get any cover. There's no Carer Fresh. You have to actually have the drone to get the Carer Fresh, which is a bit awkward. But Alliance have got I read something on a forum about it. You combine it with your home and contents. But I don't have any home and contents insurance, so I'd have to spend another 100, so that's 200 extra. So what was a $400 drone? $408 it cost me to replace, which is like pretty good. I'm really happy with DJI. I'm going to promote them, you know. I know they've had a bad reputation now, and to be honest, when I first bought my Autel, I wanted to have a DJI drone, but they had such a terrible reputation. Everything I read about them, about their service, and was bad, you know. So I didn't want to get one. But there was no competing with the Spark. I had to have the Spark or the Mavic. You know, it was either going to be Spark or Mavic. And I decided to go with the Spark, not because it was cheaper. I would have got the Mavic if I'd have wanted it, but because I thought it would be more fun and a challenge, you know, with the 1080p camera. Still a good camera. But I would like the Mavic as well. Now I was going to get a Mavic. I was going to get my hands on a Mavic. But because of my last videos, I might have actually blown that. I don't know. Nothing's been said yet. But I might have blown my chances of getting one. Which is typical of me. Mouth on a stick. Well, I don't think I did anything really bad, but, you know how it is these days. You can't say diddly squat without upsetting anyone. Ah, it's stupid anyway. Open me mouth. But nothing's been said. No, I haven't heard no yet. So it may happen. Who knows? That'd be great. I'd love the Platinum. That Platinum looks like a lot of fun. People say, oh, it's just the same. Look at that's a beautiful rock, isn't it? People, Carolina Drones, Frank from Carolina Drones said, it's just the same as the other one. And he's a dealer. But from what I've read, it's a different beast. And even though it looks the same, apart from the colour, it's a huge improvement. Different motors, different ESCs, and different FOC. Different propellers, and apparently they've done something to the camera because it now takes good 1080p 60 frames per second, which apparently it didn't do before. Lovely, eh? Some bloke there having his breakfast. Right. So, the new Spark might arrive today. Well, it will arrive today. Lovely. Look over here. So puffed out. Lovely. If only you could smell it. It smells beautiful. The sea smell, you know. Seaweed. Whatever. This is a ropey old quay. Look at this lovely wood. I really love this wood. I would. There are rays here, as I mentioned. Seals, dolphins, all sorts of things. I'm a very lucky boy. especially to have it all to myself. Just about most of the time. Most of the time there's no one around, you know. Just me and you lot. Let's go on that one. Just for the hell of it. Right, so I've never been a believer in insurance, you know. It used to get me into trouble. Years ago when I was a lad, when I used to live in Wales. Well, I've always liked big cars, you know, and I was very lucky at the time I was growing up that petrol was very expensive, and so no one wanted big cars in Britain. Plus, cars rust really quickly in Britain because they put ice on the roads when it snows, you know, whatever. I don't know, but they used to rust away in no time. So you could buy old cars if you're prepared to fix them up a bit. You could buy old Jaguars for peanuts. And I had some lovely cars, but I could never afford the insurance because even though the car's cheap, the insurance is still in the high category. You know, I was like 17. When I was 17, I had a Lincoln Continental. Now in Britain, a 1600cc Cortina was an average car. That was your average, right? That was, so you're paying like a middle amount on a 1600 Cortina. So a Mini would be in a small car. So you pay the small amount on a Mini. I had quite a few Minis. I had at least two anyway. An 1100 and 850. I think I had another one. Anyway, you know, so a 1600 Cortina is a mid-range car. But I had a 1600 Cortina. It was great fun too. But you could buy a big car like a V6, a 3-litre Consul GT I bought for peanuts, because actually didn't use any more fuel than the Cortina if you drove it gentle. This would be great to dive off. Just beautiful. And Jaguars, I found I could drive Jaguars and get the same fuel economy as a Cortina. It's just the way you drive them, you know. Most of the time I drove it flat out, but if I wanted to do it gentle, if I had no money, I could drive them gentle and get good fuel economy. So my sister worked at an insurance company, and when I had my Lincoln Continental, I said, can you get me some third-party only insurance on so I can drive it, you know? And she went and got me a quote. This is back in, let me think, I was 17, so it was in 1978. Look, there's a Willy Wagtail. It was in 1978. She said it would be £1,500 to insure you, and they wouldn't insure you anyway. It'd be too much of a risk at 17 to have nearly an 8-litre engine. So the fine for having no insurance was £50. So off I went, no insurance. And while I was there, I'd have no licence and no registration and no MOT either. I just used to drive the cars. I didn't care. I would just drive them. So I had a Lincoln, and then after a while I painted that black. It was black inside and out. It was beautiful. And I swapped that for a Cadillac, Johnny Cash's Cadillac. I've got photographs of it. I'll put them on the video. And you know, I'd have things like V12 Jaguars. I had 3 or 4 of them, and 4.2 Jaguars. I had I think I had 2 automatics and a manual. A manual 4.2 Jaguar was great. That was a nice car. John, who's got my XSP, used to own that boat. Stenchy, he's called. He calls himself Stenchy, but I don't like saying that. It's a bit derogatory. I like calling him John. But he's known as Stenchy. So I had all these Jaguars, never had any insurance, and there was a policeman in Penarth called Sergeant Cobley, and he pulled me up once, and that was all that was needed. Every time he saw me driving, he'd pull me up and he'd get me. So I'd get my £50 fine, and once you get caught 3 times, they take your licence off you for 6 months. So that didn't worry me. I kept driving. I never got caught driving without a licence. Hello, girls. Good morning. Didn't get caught driving without a licence, but I got caught without insurance numerous times. I lost my licence 3 times. But I never stopped driving. And this is a story about insurance. That's right. So eventually, then I get a bit older, and I decide I got divorced. Had a house. I still didn't have any insurance. I was earning like £1,000 a week some weeks, and £800 a week all the time, and I still wouldn't buy insurance, which was mandatory. But I got divorced, so I thought I'd buy myself a brand new motorbike. Now there's a story in itself. When I get my photo album out, I'll do that story. Anyway, I had to get insurance because it was on hire purchase. I had to get fully comprehensive insurance, and insurance on the payments, which was lucky, because 5 months into it, I crashed that bike, and I wrote the bike off, and I wrote myself off, very nearly. I was bashed around, shall we say. So, well, to the extent where my right arm was paralysed for 9 months. Anyway, I made a full recovery. But that bike was fully insured, so I was covered for that. All the other things I had some crashes too, but I just, no one ever chased me up. There was one time I had a V12 Jag. I'd only just bought it off my friend, had fixed it all up for me. Thank you, Andrew. And I went into Cardiff, where he lived, to thank him. And we had a few drinks, In fact, we had quite a few drinks, because this was back in the day. And so I was driving home. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was the roads were like this. They were sort of a bit damp, And there was a light, misty rainfall, and as slippery as it gets. So there's a car in front of me. He thought it was a copper. So he slowed down to about 25 mile an hour going up the hill. So I thought, come on, dickhead. And he wouldn't. He thought he could only see the headlights. Obviously, he thought it was a copper. And so I overtook him. I got on as soon as we came round the bend. I overtook him, and this V12 Jaguar just kicked down from 3rd gear to 1st gear, and went wah, and the back end came around, and then we were going whap 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 up off the curb, off a car, off the curb, off a car, off the curb, off a car, span around, and then reversed into a Mini. And my girlfriend was in the car as well, but we were fine, we weren't going very fast. But we wrote off 4 cars plus the Jaguar, and I said, quick, are you alright? She said, yeah. I said, quick, let's go. So we got out the car and we started running in the opposite direction, and the people were coming out of their houses going, oi, oi. See ya, we went. And off we went, round the corner, across the paddocks, and got back to my house. And then we were going back to London that day, so we went early, caught the train back up to London, and then I just went into the police station and said, I've had a crash. And they said, oh yeah, where? I said, in Penarth. They said, where's Penarth? I said, down in Wales. Oh yeah, they said so. They looked up the phone number of the police station, rang him up, and the policeman came back to me and said, well, because I reported it within 24 hours, so it was all right. And no one was hurt, so I'd left the scene of an accident, but no one was hurt, so it didn't matter. And he said, good job you're not in Penarth, there's 4 people down there want to lynch you. So that all worked out, but you know, nothing happened. No one chased me for money, had no insurance. No one chased me for any money. Not that I had any money. Well, I did have money, but I wasn't paid it anyway. But that was one. There was another time when I was in London, and I went out for a drink with a mate of mine. And we were I had a Capri, a 1600 GT Capri, and we were going down this service road, and some Cortina pulled out. Well, he was going down the main road. When we went across the junction, next thing, bang! We've hit him hard, you know, bent it like a banana. But no one was hurt. We were drunk. I was drunk. I said, you can't call the cops, man. I've been drinking. He goes, oh, all right. I said, I'll sort you out. But one of the neighbours from the houses called the cops. Cops came along. It was Christmas. He goes to me, have you been drinking? I said, no. He said, you look like you've been drinking. I'd been drinking all day. I said, no. All right, he goes, have you got any insurance? I said, oh, yeah. There was no tax or no registration on it. No MOT. And I bought it off an Indian fella down the road where I lived. And so he gave me a lift home. And I showed him this cover note. I'd taken out a cover note, but I never paid it. But I still had the cover note, so that was enough for him. And he said, righto then. So I thought to myself, well, I can't leave that car there. You know, I'll be in all sorts of trouble. I got to go and get it. I was drunk, so I had to walk. Me and my mate, we walked back to where it was. It was about 2 miles away. And I thought, I've got to get it off the road, you know. And I had my keys, so I put the keys in the ignition, started up, it went, and it just revved to full revs. So all I did was I just put it into first gear, and I just used the clutch as the accelerator, and I drove it home. All the way home. It had no lights, it was all smashed in, but I got it home and got it in the garage. Nothing happened. Didn't hear a thing. Unbelievable. So I've been lucky in that regard. But anyway, now, for this drone now, I'm going to get some insurance. So after all this time, I've learnt my lesson. I've learned a valuable lesson. There you go. That's the insurance story. There's more to it than that, but actually one day I'll get my photo albums out and I'll go through all my photos and compile the stories with photographs, because there's much more to it. I've forgotten what else I crashed. I had other crashes, but you know, I never crashed a car unless I was drunk. I'm very proud of that. I'm a very good driver. Unless I was drunk, I never crashed. Yes, indeed. Okay, I better go back now and see if Dan's up. We're going to have a bonus today. We're going down to Kettle Bay. We're at Kettle Bay. This is where the old cannery used to be. The Heinz Cannery. I've been here before, so you all know, if you watch my videos, you know where we are. But anyway, we'll just going past, so I thought I might as well have a look on the wharf. I'll tell you what made me look at Skink. Is that a skink? Hello, Skink. Hello, lizard. Now, those lizards are intelligent. Look at it looking at me. It's fully aware of me. It's thinking, well, why are you talking to me? Aren't you? You're thinking, are you talking to me? He's going, yes I am. Anyway, the reason I thought of coming here was because I was looking at that wood before. Now look at this wood. This wood is gold. You're thinking, it's not gold, it's wood. Well, it's golden wood. This wood would clean up. There's enough here to make a house. One day they're going to have to replace it, and every little piece of wood will be saved, don't you worry about that. Someone was telling me there was I'll tell you, we'll go down the beach first. There's a place in Bega where they've kept all the old bridges. Just look at this wood, and it's all seasoned in salt water. This is relatively new bits. Look at that. Isn't it amazing? I love shit like this. What's this pipe, I wonder? 2 pipes. What are they for? I don't know. I might have to take a still. Beautiful. It's pretty cool. So, let's walk along here. Look for some sea glass. There's normally a bit of sea glass down there. As I've said before, we used to collect it. We used to spend hours collecting it. We've got quite a lot of it in jars. There's a bit. There's a bit straight away. Sea glass. It's beautiful stuff. I don't know what we're going to do with it. I'm not a fisherman. But if I was, it would be a good place to fish. Here's another bit of sea glass. This clear bit. There's another bit of sea glass. And another bit. Wow. So this is the old cannery. Here's another bit. Oh, that's too sharp. If it's too new, you don't want it. This was the old cannery. And this employed, I think, employed 400 people in Eden, and obviously injected money into the town. And it closed down, and at that time, oh, there's another piece. That's okay. At that time, the fish stocks had started to diminish, and the government was buying back fishing licenses. Now, don't quote me on this because I don't really know what I'm talking about, but it was a time, I think 70s, 80s, when Eden lost a lot of its population because there was just no money here. So that's a shame. Some people did well, like my neighbour. He did really well. He's doing really well, as you can see. But it couldn't have been easy. He's a hard worker. There's more sea glass. There's more. He's certainly a worker. Whereas I'm a bludger. A bit of a bludger, I am. It takes all sorts. It's too new. I don't want that bit. Takes all sorts. And that. That's good. And that. Oh, that's good too. Maybe start collecting the glass again. There's a good bit. Beauty. Darwin will be pleased. But it's quite good, you know, you get out, you get on the beach and stretch yourself, bending over, getting down, getting up. It doesn't sound much, but it's better than doing nothing. Some sort of a culvert, because there's a lot of water. We're on a hill, obviously, so the water has to go somewhere. What's this? Water. That's pretty new, but I like it. I like that. I'll take that. Now, just got another email saying your delivery is due. Hide your dog. I haven't got a dog. I've got a cat though, and he's tougher than a dog. Now there's a beautiful rock. Look at that. Look at that rock. If I put that in my pocket, my trousers will fall down. I don't know what I might do, because I might take that. I'll put it by there and see if I remember it. If I don't remember it, I didn't need it. Well, I don't need it. Who needs a rock? Anyway, you don't want to look at the ground, do you? You just look around. See the, can you see the barge that's in front of the dredging barge? The landing platform is full of gulls. It's amazing. If I had my little drone, I could fly out and harry them. They'd probably. I did it with the Autel, but I think they'd probably take the spark out of the sky. I'm going to be more careful this time, unless I get full insurance. If I get full insurance, you know, that's the trouble. You've got to be carefree, or you don't get any good films. You've got to not worry about losing the drone, and you've got to not worry about twats reporting you to CASA. Otherwise you don't get anything. So, what's important is the film. Everything else is not important. Everything else will sort itself out. The film will remain. I actually talked to CASA, and I said, what about my videos? Because, they rang me yesterday and said, well, they were going to make a decision as to how they were going to regard me. I thought it had already been done. As far as I know, it has already been done. They're just going to give me a warning. But, you know, I don't want them on my back. Jesus. So I said to them, I said to the guy, they're all nice people, and look, the main thing was, they could see that I wasn't putting anyone in danger. They could see that. You know, you've got to follow the rules, which is fair enough. I think people should follow the rules. Or other people. But, you know, I hadn't put anyone in danger. Not really, you know, I hadn't hit anyone in the head. So, I think they're going to be lenient on me. Well, they already said they would be. So apparently it's being reviewed again. I don't know why. But I said, what about my YouTube videos? I said, I like my YouTube channel. Am I supposed to take them down? They said, no, that's all right. So that's great. So anything I've filmed before I've been told off is okay. I don't think I can. That's a nice story. I don't think I can. Look at that. That's beautiful. Do anything else now? Dodgy. I won't take it. I've got to be good now. But anything I filmed before, I've got a few that I filmed before. That's a beautiful piece of stone. So there's still a couple more to go up. If I'm not going to get into trouble for them, I'll put them up. And then I'll have to pull my head in, which is a shame. There's that stone. Do I really want it? No. I've changed my mind now. It must have been stone. Right. I think I know what this is. The question is it red? Dan thinks red. Watch your finger doesn't go over the thing. Or is it white? Which is what I wanted. I think I know where it is. Remember to hold my stomach in. Stomach in, make good face. I think I know where it is. Righto. That's what it is. I know that box. I've got two of them. Thank you, DJI. Right, red or white?
Red.
White. White it is! Oh, lovely! I wanted a white one. Isn't that lovely of them? Isn't that lovely? Comes with battery. Look. The ghost of Sparky. Sparky 2. Thank you, DJI. Thank you very much. Right, I'm getting care refreshed with this one.